Ladies and gents, welcome back. They say you have a right to your own beliefs. Now, that may not be the case anymore in Canada, even in the institutions in which those beliefs originated. Now, we have a story about a Catholic high school student who was expelled and then later arrested for trying to re-attend his class after having the wrong think about gender ideology. Here we have Josh Alexander putting out on Twitter saying, I have just been arrested and charged at my Catholic high school for attending class after being excluded for indicating my intent to adhere to my religious beliefs. And well, of course, this hit shockwaves all around, and even Fox News picked up this story. Catholic high school student Catholic high school student arrested after suspension for opposing transgender ideology. I have a article here as well from Brian Lilly at the Toronto Sun. High school student suspended, arrested for saying only two genders. In the name of diversity, a Catholic school in Renfrew suspended a student and had him arrested for saying there are only two genders. Josh Alexander was suspended last November over comments made about gender in class and told he couldn't return until he had recanted. You have to believe the thing that we want you to believe, even in a place that's based on beliefs. This is really interesting. On Monday, Alexander returned to class and was promptly met by vice principal, arrested by two local police officers and charged with trespassing. The now seemingly former student of St. Joseph Catholic High School told the National Post in an interview that he made comments during a class discussion on gender. And here's the National Post article here. Josh, a Christian, believes there are only two genders, that people can't switch genders, and that male students shouldn't use girls' washrooms, but expressing those views in a classroom discussion on gender at St. Joseph High School in Renfrew, Ontario, got him suspended. I got suspended for comments made in a class discussion, said Josh in an interview. It was about male students using female washrooms, gender dysphoria, and male breastfeeding. Everyone was sharing their opinion on it. Any student who wanted was participating, including the teacher. I said there were only two genders and that you were born either a male or a female, and that got me into trouble. And then I said that gender doesn't trump biology, which is another tenet. I thought we'd follow the science. I thought that was the thing that we do these days. Freedom, once taken for granted, is lost, the grade 11 student said. What a wise young man. Freedom of religion is probably one of our most important freedoms, so I'm not going to surrender it in the face of persecution. It just goes to show how little freedom of expression we have in our country. James Kitchen, a lawyer from the Liberty Defense Fund, which is representing Josh, said in a statement that the student was told that he could only return to school if he had agreed not to use the dead names, in quotes, of any transgender students and agreed to exclude himself from his two afternoon classes because those classes were attended by two transgender students who disapprove of Josh's religious beliefs in a Catholic high school. And of course, obviously, the memes started. Here we have the Daily Toll with Catholic student arrested at Catholic school for being Catholic. Amazing. And of course, this you all saw this one coming. This is what's allowed. This is allowed, this is allowed to teach in class. This is not allowed to attend the class. And here's where we are. This is where we are. And I've yet to hear a follow-up of this story. I swore up and down that this individual was just trolling the system and looking to get fired for compensation at the end of the day. Because, I mean, we've seen this over and over again in recent years. Josh said he had never dead named anybody. In the quotes, if you're not familiar with this term, what this term is, Dead naming someone is when somebody makes up a new name for themselves, and you use their old former name, the name that they were given, and is present on their identification. So he said he had never dead named anybody. So obviously, calling people the names that they wish to be called, that is referring to their previous name before transitioning. Compelling Josh to utter falsehoods regarding gender contrary to his beliefs and segregating him from classes are repugnant manifestations of religious discrimination, said Kitchen. That's very, very much true. Matters escalated when Josh was later served with an exclusion order on Monday when he tried to go to school. The cops were called and he got arrested. I walked into one of my classes. I sat down and everyone looked pretty surprised to see me there. Within 2 minutes, Vice Principal was in the classroom asking me to leave, Josh said. He left the class and almost immediately I was met with the police. Josh was put into the back of a cruiser, driven off property, and later released and charged with trespassing for the bold move of just trying to attend class. I mean, we can think back at a time when people were vitriolic towards people just trying to attend classes. That was something, maybe not in our Canadian history, but in our Western history, that's for sure. Some will say Josh knew what he was doing, that he was breaking the rules by trespassing, and he suffered the consequences. Well, it's called civil disobedience. This is what it is. But that is the society we want to become. Sorry, misread that. Arresting a 16-year-old kids for turning up at school when they've been suspended for their religious beliefs. Was there no other way? Could the school not have tried harder to find a solution? Was calling the police really the only option? Could they perhaps be tolerant? It appears we are now so tolerant that we cannot stand people defending their religious beliefs in a classroom at a supposedly religious school. Josh doesn't appear to be a shrinking violet. He obviously holds strong beliefs and is passionate about them. Maybe he's seen as troublesome. Maybe his religious principles seem quaint, outdated, and decidedly unwoke. The principal of St. Joseph's probably wishes he had never heard of him. Now, Josh is not going to take this one sitting down or laying down. He's out there, and he's out there spreading his message. Here we have from the Millennial Post, the Post Millennial. Josh Alexander, Ontario student who got suspended for defending right of female students to single-sex washrooms. I don't call out everybody's sin. That's between them and God. My issue is with when they bring it up towards the kids. And here's his words here.
Could you tell me why you're here today, Josh?
Yeah, I'm actually one of the organizers of today's event. My group, Save Canada, decided to throw together an event when we were notified that the NAC was allowing a drag show for kids, drag story time. I was actually just inside. I got to see a little bit of it. Police eventually escorted me out, but yeah, it was pretty disappointing to see that such a big, large platform is promoting this. Drag is inherently a sexual event. They deny that, but when I asked why I was being removed and why I couldn't continue to see what was going on, they had no answers for me. I asked what they were doing with kids behind closed doors, and they refused to give me any answers.
And what do you say to the people here who would suggest that you're transphobic or anti-LGBTQ+ for organising this protest?
Yeah, personally, I do believe that it is wrong. It is messed up. They are confused. However, I'm not a hateful individual. I believe a lot of things are wrong. I don't call out everybody's sin. That's between them and God. That's none of my business. My issue is when they bring it up towards the kids, and I'm going to intervene at that point. That's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Well, it's amazing to me what happens when you suspend a kid from school and he has all this free time. Do you think he's just going to sit down and take it, go play some video games? Well, no, not a motivated young gentleman like this. Here we have him. This is Sabrina on Twitter putting this one out there. 3 brave young men standing up for their beliefs at any cost. And this is your own doing, Catholic school, by kicking him out. You've given him free time to get organized.
I've been released. I've been charged for trespassing, and we're going to continue to fight all this in court. It's an ongoing fight with the school because we got a little bit distracted. I mean, just with my fight and how they were kind of targeting me, but it's beyond that. I still don't want males and female washrooms. I'm not done there. We're going back to that, and it's also, it goes beyond that as well. It's more than just males and female washrooms. It's the teachers encouraging gender dysphoria. It's the confusion of the youth, the indoctrination of the mainstream media being used in the classrooms. Our education system has been corrupted and overrun, and it's time we do something about it.
Here. He goes on to talk about upcoming events. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can go check out that video in its entirety. It goes a little bit longer, and it talks about, again, more events coming up where he's going to be protesting against, drag shows for children. Yeah, okay, that's insane. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole situation. I think it's ridiculous, but this young man is standing up for his rights, for his religious beliefs, things that are supposed to be charter protected rights in our country. If they're going to protect certain individuals' rights over other people's rights, where does this end? Where does this end? I don't believe he was infringing on anyone's rights for having an opinion about any sort of transgender ideology. You can have any opinion that you please. It's only when you act upon something, if there is violence involved. It doesn't seem like he's a violent individual. He seems to be exactly the opposite of that. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this whole situation, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.